And what's up, everybody? Have you heard yet? Have you heard? I want you to leave me a comment. Leave me a comment if you want to see President Trump as Speaker of the House. I mean, I want to see President Trump as Speaker of the House. I don't know about you, but I do. I think that will be such a phenomenal thing. It will be so great to have President Trump, our president, President Donald J. Trump, as Speaker of the House. Now, there's a couple reasons why I would love to see President Trump as Speaker of the House, but the most obvious reason is because it would make certain demons completely upset. They will lose their beep. They will be angry. President Trump, can y'all imagine President Trump having a gavel in his hand and President Trump having control over the purse? Can you imagine President Trump being able to control the purse, the pocket, the money going to the FBI, to the DOJ, to all of these criminal organizations in the in the government? Can y'all imagine that? The Democrats would not know how to act. They're already going batty over this, the whole idea. Now I'm willing to bet, because let me just tell y'all right now, the way I understand it, that President Trump, he could very well become Speaker of the House because they have the votes. They have the votes to make it happen. To my understanding, they don't need a single Democrat to vote for this. Not a single one. They can make this happen, to my understanding. And that's running all through them right now. Right? This running all through them right now. The Republicans can make the necessary changes so President Trump can be there, because nothing's in stone. It's not constitutional that he can't be there. He doesn't have to be a member of Congress at the moment. He doesn't have to be. The Republicans can make the correct procedures to make this happen. And there's big talk of doing it. President Trump could actually bring the country back together. President Trump could actually bring the Republican Party back together. But this is going to tick off a lot of these never Trumpers. It's going to tick off a whole bunch of people on the right. It really is. Like Newt Gingrich, he's not going to be happy about it. Paul Ryan, he's not going to be happy about it. Let me see who else. Liz Cheney, Adam Kissinger, Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, more likely Lindsey Graham as well. These rhino Republicans are not going to be happy about it. And there's going to be a lot of people on Fox News not happy about it either. But let me share a couple of things with you. This first one I want to share with you, this was Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's he's angry because they got rid of Kevin McCarthy. Just think about that. Kevin McCarthy was a Republican, and you have Shucky Ducky Schumer. He's upset. You know why he's upset? Because of this. Because I'm wondering if he thought about it too. Because he had to know. You can hear in Chuck Schumer's voice that he's upset because this is the possibility where Americans that love America, that wants to put America first, can actually take control of the House. The reason why Americans don't control the Senate right now is because of Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell did not want to have any Americans that put America first to be funded. So he made sure that they lost their races so they would not win the Senate. Mitch McConnell did that. Listen to Chuck Schumer here.
But I'm going to say a few words about what happened in the House. Okay? So, we all know there's quite a bit of history being made on the other side of the Capitol as well. Unfortunately, not the good kind. Yesterday, a small band of MAGA extremists plunged Congress into pandemonium. For the first time in history, a speaker has been removed from his position at the hands of radicals that he empowered from day one.
You hear this? He's calling them radicals. Now let me remind you of something. The Democrats, they supported what they call the radical Republicans. They supported this. It wasn't that the Republicans went over with the Democrats and did what the Democrats wanted. That's not it at all. You hear a whole bunch of rhinos, even over on Fox News, saying that they sided with the Democrats. That is not true at all. The Democrats, there's only one reason why the Democrats sided with the MAGA Republicans, and I'm gonna show you that right after this.
I just want
what happened yesterday is a failure.
Schumer said for the first time in history that is actually not true. In 1910, there was a revolt against the House Speaker. His name was Cannon, and that's why he was removed. So once again, Schumer didn't tell the total.
Well, maybe
truth.
Maybe Schumer doesn't know the history.
Okay,
quite possible.
Entirely of the House Republicans' own doing, a disaster years in the making, to the great detriment of Congress and to the detriment of the American people. Speakers Boehner, Ryan, and now McCarthy have all learned the same hard lesson. You cannot allow the hard right to run the House or to run the country, or you'll get chased out by that very same hard MAGA right.
You hear this? And he's actually talking about Americans that's putting America first. That's who he's referring to. And he's afraid. They're all terrified that, wait a minute, because he's probably like, wait a minute, what did y'all do? He's actually sitting here complaining about what the House Democrats just did. He's not, listen to him. That's what he's complaining about, because the House Democrats, they could have voted for McCarthy. They didn't have to go the other way. They didn't have to support the MAGA Republicans. And you know what? It's really starting to look like it's going to bite them in the backside that they did it. And I'm hoping that it does.
You cannot allow a small band of MAGA extremists, which represents just a tiny percentage of the views of the American people.
That's a lie.
To tell the overwhelming majority of Americans what to do.
That's a lie. It's the overwhelming majority of Americans want this change. They want what is right. They're tired of seeing our country go down like this. He's lying again.
But, folks, Republicans' issues with MAGA extremism seeps far deeper than any single leader. MAGA extremism is a poison that the House GOP has refused to confront for years.
Oh, my goodness.
And until the mainstream House Republicans deal with this issue, the chaos will continue.
You hear this? The Democrat Party has taken the country into chaos. Look at our southern border. Look what's happening there. Look at the food crisis. Look at the gas prices. They're starting to go back up again, right? They never went back down to Trump era. They've always been high, and now they're going up higher. They're plunging the country into chaos. It's the Democrats that's doing it. 95% of the stupid stuff that's happening in the country is a result of Democrats.
Now, I hope it's obvious. MAGA extremism is not good for the House Republican leadership. It's not good for Congress, and it's disastrous for the country. So let me say this to the next Speaker of the House, whomever that may be. Think carefully about what happened to your predecessors before trying to coddle the hard right. Each of your predecessors got burnt each time. I urge the next Speaker not to make the same mistake, not just for their own future, but for the country's.
You hear this? Okay, you can get him off the screen because I know everyone's tired of looking at him. Look, it's the Democrats that caused all of the chaos that we're seeing. And now all of a sudden they're trying to act like the border is a major issue for them. Have y'all seen any of that? Have you seen any of that? Well, listen to this one. This is about President Trump becoming Speaker of the House. Now, how many of you that are watching right now want to see President Trump as Speaker? And let me be clear about something. President Trump said if he were to do this, it would be a temporary thing until the Republicans can get the person that they want. I'm all for it. It's a temporary thing because he's going to be president in 2024. That's what he's running for. So he said that he would do it, a temporary thing. Watch this.
Brett, good evening. Former President Trump says he'd accept a short-term role as Speaker as the GOP looks for a unifier to lead the House. Former President Trump may be running again for president. Some Republicans want to draft him to be Speaker of the House. Fox confirmed that Mr. Trump could try to attend a GOP candidate forum for Speaker at the Capitol Tuesday night.
I dare them to keep him out. I will nominate him in the conference, and President Trump can attend.
The Speaker of the House doesn't need to be a member.
We'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party.
But House rules suggest that lawmakers not serve in leadership positions if they face a felony indictment. Democrats relish the potential chaos.
Donald Trump is good about asserting himself in any news cycle. It isn't going to aid House Republicans.
Now, let me stop it there and we'll come back to it because, Shannon, you have an article about this, right? You have an article about them saying that President Trump, I think there was a fact check thing saying that President Trump cannot be the Speaker of the House. And let's put this out there real quick for the fake fact checkers and for the trolls, if there are any trolls, that President Trump can be the Speaker of the House. The Republicans, they just have to do their deal. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, this is a fact check. It was on Newsweek, right? And it says Kevin McCarthy's ousting Speaker led questions over the possibility of Trump being able to, in theory, take over the role. And there are several people. You just saw Marjorie Taylor Greene that said she would endorse him. However, one commentator suggested Trump's indictments would automatically stop him from hammering the House gavel. So let's talk about that really quick. It says the Post included this rule, Rule 26, which is a Republican rule. It says temporary step aside of a member of leadership who is indicted. A member of Republican leadership shall step aside if indicted for a felony for a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment. According to the Congressional Research Service, the rule quoted by Snell was adopted in 2005. The advisory sentencing guidelines for the charges, for instance, relating to Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents, means he could have 15 and a half to 19 years in jail. The rule would then therefore seemingly restrict him from being in congressional leadership.
But what's the good news about this?
Here it is. However, these rules are not statute and can be changed by the GOP. It would require the creation of an ad hoc committee appointed by the Speaker and chaired by a senior Republican member of the committee rules House. And it says that they can, right here, it says, does this mean that Trump could qualify? As long as the congressional Republicans change their own guidelines, he can become Speaker. And I think, Will, if they really want Trump in there to unify and start fundraising for the party, they would change the rules.
Yes. They should change the rules on this. They should most definitely change the rules because President Trump, the Republican, and look, they have the House votes to do it. They have the votes to change the rules to put President Trump as Speaker. And again, I'm going to ask everybody, leave me a comment below if you want to see President Trump Speaker of the House. Leave me a comment. Let's go back to this video. I want you to see the rest of this because this is powerful. And there's people have their, how do I say this? There's some people have their differences about Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I think everyone agrees with her on this. I have issues. You have issues. We all have issues, but we want President Trump to be there. I guarantee it.
The main candidates, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise.
I've been obviously listening to a lot of members and having a lot of really good conversations.
Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan.
You need someone who can unite the conference. I think I'm best equipped to do that.
Oklahoma Republican Kevin Hern is mulling a bid.
As soon as I plow through these calls, I was on the phone right before I came here, and I'm getting ready to jump off and keep calling people.
Some Republicans believe Scalise's cancer, which he called very treatable, is disqualifying, especially as the party routinely questions the fitness of President Biden.
Let me stop this real quick because, you know, Scalise, he's going through issues, right? But what about Fetterman? They can't say that Scalise cannot run that position because look at Fetterman. At least Scalise, listen to me. At least Scalise can say something. At least he can complete a sentence. At least he can function correctly, right? And you just had Raskin. He was going through the same thing. They didn't say anything about him, but they don't want him to be Speaker. That's what it is. And they're trying to find every excuse not to put him there. Even Hannity last night was trying to say that he shouldn't be there because of his situation. Listen.
Which he called very treatable, is disqualifying, especially as the party routinely questions the fitness of President Biden.
I think it's something that all of us would like to see him put all of his energy and effort into beating cancer.
There's concern a new speaker doesn't fix the GOP's issues.
This will hurt swing districts. Hopefully we can turn this around.
We're told it could take the House weeks to elect a speaker if the body does not solve this fast.
Yeah, could take weeks, right? If they don't do right fast. So I'm just really kind of curious on what everyone thinks about this. Because for me, again, this would be a positive thing. It would be absolutely awesome to see President Trump in that position, because then President Trump, he won't do just like McCarthy. He won't do like McCarthy, say that we have power of the purse. He's going to exercise that power. You know what? If McCarthy would have done the right thing in the first place, he would still be there today. Matt Gaetz wouldn't even have to bring it up in the first place. If McCarthy would have just kept hitting hard, but he didn't do that. He kept pushing stuff along, and he kept working with the Democrats to give the Democrats what they wanted.
And you should bring up, because I don't know if the people here necessarily realize why all the Democrats voted against McCarthy.
Yeah, let's get into that real quick, because the Democrats voted against McCarthy, and it's more likely, it looks like it's going to bite them in the backside. Yes, they did it because there's a couple of reasons. One reason that I've been talking about here for the last couple of days is because they wanted to make it look like the Republican Party is in disarray. They're not in any kind of unity. They're way out of control. They're being controlled by the MAGA Republicans, but then these same Democrats, all of them, supported the MAGA Republicans. Tell me, how does that work? How does that work? But their main reason for doing it is because Kevin McCarthy was their biggest money maker. Kevin McCarthy, he was their biggest fundraiser. He would go out and bring all the money in. That's the very reason right now why you have a whole bunch of Republicans that sided with McCarthy, because they were afraid that if McCarthy didn't get the boot, McCarthy was still there, that he would say, I remember you did not support me. I'm not going to fund your campaign next. But President Trump come in. President Trump, he's the deal maker. He'll make it happen. He'll get the funding for them. That's terrifying the Democrats to no end. Look at this.
Yeah, this was on Bloomberg government and McCarthy's money at stake for the House. This is what they're afraid of, Will, because like you said, McCarthy was a prolific fundraiser, right? And so they're uncertain. The party's worried about who might step in to fill his fundraising shoes. In fact, listen to this. Asked about his fundraising prowess Tuesday, McCarthy said Democrats told him, listen to this, they were not going to support him for speaker because he could raise the money to oust them in 2024.
Yeah, so it's like, why are we going to do this? He's going to get us. He's going to work against us. Right. We're going to help him. What?
Right. And also McCarthy, one reason why Republicans voted to keep him in was because he was a big fundraising person. They wanted his money to also help them stay in power. So the right thing to do, the smart thing to do, because look at
No, it's not the smart thing to do. The safe thing.
Right.
The safe thing. That's why you had these rhino Republicans go along with McCarthy, because they saw the safe thing. Even some Republicans that were thinking that, you know what, McCarthy, he does need to go, but I'm afraid that I won't get the funding and if he's still there. And McCarthy kept saying, Matt Gaetz is doing this because it's personal. It's personal. You know who was personal to? It was personal to Kevin McCarthy. He took it personal because it happened one other time in 1910 that this happened, and now it's going to go down in history that Kevin McCarthy got the boot.
Yeah.
It's personal for him.
Right here.
And it should be.
House Republicans who have raised the most campaign cash. Kevin McCarthy blows everybody out of the water. He raised a $9.1 million. That's as of June this year. So imagine how much more he has raised. Steve Scalise is almost half of that. He's at 5.6. And then Jim Jordan drops way down after that. And listen, I know we hate it, but money is what makes these campaigns run. But Will, you saw it. What did Matt Gaetz say on the floor?
On the floor,
when he said we need to get rid of McCarthy. Who did he say McCarthy is loyal to?
To the lobbyists, the big donors, these bureaucrats, and they booed him on the floor. They booed him on the floor because he actually told the truth. Boo! You're not supposed to say that. Boo! You're actually saying it so the people can hear it. Boo! He actually called it out. And then I'm like, they're actually angry with him because he said he doesn't want to be controlled by the lobbyists. The lobbyists are the ones that's controlling all these people. They voted for McCarthy, the Republicans, because they wanted to keep their seat and the power and the money flowing. It's all about money for them. It's not about doing the will of the American people. Every last one of them that voted with McCarthy, it's about the money. It's about the funding. But now they bring President Trump in because President Trump, he can raise money. Remember, President Trump did the golden ticket. Remember that? Did the golden ticket. It wasn't even for his campaign, to my understanding. It was a golden ticket. It was like a collectibles item. It was like they made like $2 million, $3 million from it. Because so just imagine, President Trump tells the American people, hey, we need your support. Get behind XYZ. And if he does a video, let's imagine it. Just think about if President Trump just pick up his phone one day and said, look, everybody, I need for you to help me because he's on Facebook now and he's on Twitter. Imagine they set his phone up to go to all of them at the same time. He just hold his phone and said, look, I need everybody to go right here to XYZ and support us right now to make this happen. Let's show these people in the swamp that you, the American people, want your country back. What do y'all think would happen? That would terrify them to no end. It would, the money would flow in. I would support President Trump. I already do. Right? But people will be supporting him because they want what's happening to go away. They want it to come to an end. They want it to stop. You know what they want to stop? They want the border to stop. Let me talk about this real quick. Look at this one. This is Karine Jean-Pierre. Remember before Karine Jean-Pierre was saying that they were all saying that the border was racist. You don't want to put it up because, oh my goodness, the indigenous people, the XYZ. Remember they were saying that constantly over and over, right? Day one, Joe Biden, what did he do? He stopped the production on the southern border wall. And look what's happening today. And now that we're going into 2024, guess what happens next? Oh, we need to put it up. We need to put the ball up. Listen to this.
If you have to build a border wall, but you don't think that it's going to work, then once it's done, are you just going to tear it down?
I'm not getting into hypotheticals from here. I'm just telling you what I can tell you from here. The facts are that DHS is complying with the law. This is from this was under fiscal year 2019 under a Republican.
Oh, it was under 2019. Who was in office in 2019? Trump. So basically they're saying that we're just going to go ahead and pick up where Trump left off because the funding is there. The funding was there. Well, what about all of the material that they just sold off? Pennies on the dollar. Remember, I just talked about that for those of you that have been watching. I talked about that like a month, 2 months ago. They were selling off the stuff. But now they're getting ready to complete the wall because we're going into 2024.
Republican leadership, and DHS is required to do this. The president asked multiple times of Congress to reappropriate. They did not, and we're not complying by the law. Thanks, everybody.
And look at that. And on that note, I'm going to bounce. On that note, she's out. She didn't want to hang around. She didn't want to take any more questions on it, right? Because remember, they constantly kept saying it was racist for you to have that wall.
Well, and let me just read an article on what happened. It said in a striking acknowledgement to address the migrant influx in southern border, the Biden administration announced it waived 26 federal laws to permit more border wall construction in southern Texas. The Department of Homeland Security posted—
Wait a minute. They're talking about the same state where the Biden regime was going after Texas, trying to say that the buoys that they were putting up, preventing the people coming in, was unlawful.
They actually had a lawsuit.
That state, they had a lawsuit
for a wall too. Yeah, they told us to stop building.
You need to stop doing the wall. You need to stop doing the buoys. And now they're singing a different tune. Yep. Why are they doing this, people? Well, tell me why. Why.
Homeland Security posted an announcement last night in Federal Registry, which said the administration was waiving federal laws such as the Clean Air Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, and the Endangered Species Act for a wall construction in Stark County, Texas, using federal funds appropriated in 2019. Mayorkas said this: There is presently an acute and immediate need to construct physical barriers and roads in the vicinity of the border of the United States in order to prevent unlawful entries into the United States in the project areas. They started clearing out and making way. They have video of it today. They're getting ready to put up that wall as fast as they can. But you brought up a point about the wall that was very important earlier. What was that? About the materials that had been purchased earlier?
About who they're going to buy who they're going to buy the new materials from?
Yeah, because they
sold off the materials that's sitting there, and those materials were sitting in a warehouse, and they were saying, well, it costs too much. Karine Jean-Pierre just talked about it. She was asked a question of, why are you selling the material off? Because it costs too much for us to sit it in the warehouse. We're having to pay for it to sit in the warehouse, so let's just sell it off. So now they're building a border wall. Now they're doing it.
And this just shows
this is a bunch of hypocrites.
And don't you think this just shows that they didn't need to wait on Republicans? Because all of a sudden they can clear the board and make it happen.
And you know what? If they don't create the crisis, they'll start the crisis, or they'll take advantage of the crisis. And now they come in to save the day. Y'all see this? I mean, all these people coming across the border. Have y'all seen some of the videos here lately? Oh my goodness. It is horrible. I mean, it's straight up horrible. And it's tearing the country apart. And we're going into 2024 is the only reason why they want to act like they're wanting getting on top of it. Listen to AOC. Listen to her. Listen to her talk about Joe Biden wanting to do the wall. Listen to this.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Oh, she thinks it's a terrible idea. Really? You don't say.
I think it's a broken promise. But additionally, let's say you completely disagree on this. You could build a great big Trumpy wall on the entire U.S. southern border, and it's still not going to fix this problem. And I'll tell you why.
You hear this? It actually would fix the problem, because it fixed the problem up to 90% or more. 90% plus when President Trump was in office. They knew was fixing it, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted to have people come in and to replace the people that's leaving the Democrat ticket.
The U.S. and U.S. foreign policy is contributing to the displacement of millions of people in South America to begin with. And if we do not address the migrant crisis at its root, it is still going to continue to be a problem. And if you have the displacement of millions of people, it is going to continue to destabilize the entire region.
Really? You hear this? She's a total idiot. She doesn't want this country to be secure. She really doesn't. Not at all. She really doesn't. I have another one to play for you, but I have something that's really shocking that I want to share it with everybody. So if you haven't hit the share button right now, please hit the share button. Yeah, I think I've shown enough to you for it to be a valid reason for you to hit the share button. Please, I'm begging everybody that's watching right now to hit the share button, because this is actually, this should be a wake-up call, what I'm going to show you, to everybody in the country that's been supporting these people destroying our country. Listen to this one as they talk about the southern border wall as well.
Faced with a surge in illegal crossings, the Biden administration has announced it is waiving more than 24 federal laws to add on to the border wall in southern Texas.
You hear that? You're going to add on more. You're going to add on more. Really? It shouldn't be a wake-up call, so they're going to do more. They're going to do more. They're going to add more. So what's really surprising, and like I said, I have something that's really surprising that everybody's going to want to see. You're going to want to see this. You know how did we play the videos? I've been playing some videos. I don't think I played them here, but there's been some videos popping up everywhere about what's happening in Chirac. And for those of you that don't know what Chirac is, that is Chicago. You know, they call it Chirac, like Iraq, you know, because all the shooting and everything going on, you know, it's like a war zone. The people in Chicago are done. They're done with the Democrat Party. This is another reason, split screen it for me. This is another reason why all of a sudden that they have to get it under control. Did y'all hear Mayor Adams got his butt on an airplane? Mayor Adams out of New York, not Chicago, but out of New York. He got on the airplane and flew to Mexico, not for vacation, to talk about the border crisis. Why didn't he fly to D.C.? Why didn't he go to D.C. and talk to Joe Biden and the other politicians there? Because they don't care. He goes to Mexico. The people in Chicago are talking about Democrats. This is such a powerful clip right here. This is going to be the most powerful clips that you will ever see come out of Chicago. I'm telling you right now. Watch this.
Right? They're illegal. Right now, Brandon Johnson and the Democrats are criminals. You're locking up guys from smuggling drugs and trafficking people crossing the drag government's doing it. Right now.
Right.
We're going to sue the bosses. We're going to sue the Democrats as civilians because they're supposed to be agents.
You hearing what he's saying? Are you hearing what he's saying? He said, we're going to sue the Democrats. Well, he didn't say Democrats, but he said Democrats. Same thing. He said they're going to sue the Democrats because they're the ones that's doing this. Every last one of them. It's about time. And they're all like looking at them, and not a single person is going, no, it's not the Democrats. It's not the Democrats. They didn't do this. Look at them. Not a single person. Most of the time, when you show up to this events like this and you call out the actual source of the problem, the actual people who's causing you to live in misery like this, they all jump up there. They hold signs, put signs in front of the camera so no one can see you. They try to silence you. Not a single person. Look at them. Not a single person is telling him to stop because it's true. And they're sick of it. It's the Democrats, not just in Chicago, not just in New York, not just in California, not just in Texas, not just in Florida, not just in New Orleans, everywhere, all across the country. It's the Democrats that's destroying everything.
No.
Right.
We're going to sue the bosses. We're going to sue the Democrats as civilians because they're supposed to be agents. Representing the people they voted for. The agents. I'm a sports agent. If I don't have represent my clients, they fire me. Yeah. It's time to fire. Don't let the Democrats have that stupid convention here next year. That's it. Enough's enough.
I mean, they're agreeing with him. He said, don't let the stupid Democrats have their convention here next year. And they go, yep, don't let them have it here. Don't let them have it here. Because it's going to be elaborate. They'll have food and everything else while they have all the illegals taking up the neighborhoods, crushing these people's homes, taking the resources away, taking away where the football field can't even be used by the kids because they're being occupied. The people have had it. This is what's terrifying them. This is the only reason why they're talking about securing the border. This is the only reason.
All I see, right, is the citizens of Chicago marching to the gas chamber. Ever since these scumbags came across.
You hear this? You hear this? Yes. And I'm sitting there looking at these videos with black people complaining in Chirac constantly all the time. And I'm like, who did you vote for? I'm like, I really want to take my microphone and camera and go, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? Are you going to do the same thing? It's really looking like people are starting to recognize who did this to them, who is doing this to them. It's always been the Democrats. It's been like that throughout history. The Democrats, the only thing is they become very good on manipulating people. They become very good on lying to people. They lie to you every 2 to 4 years. They tickle your ears just to get you to believe a certain thing. People are waking up. You know what? If this wasn't happening in Chirac in New York, the Democrats caused this, but it's getting so much attention. If it wasn't getting attention, they would have never, ever said that they're going to start the border wall again. It has to get extremely bad for people to wake up. And that's where we are. Because it's gotten extremely bad. Extremely bad. All right, let me say thank you to a couple people before we bounce out of here. We're going to say thank you?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. So we got Ruby. This is for Facebook stars.
These are Facebook Ruby, stars? Okay.
Kelly. Where's Mike? Andrea and Sherry.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those blessings. And we are live. Actually, we're live on Rumble as well and YouTube. So thank you, everybody, for all the blessings. Thank you so much for hitting that share button. And again, for those of you that were here in the beginning, I'm going to try to go back through the comments. I can't reply to everybody, but I'm going to go back through the comments and try to read all the comments I can. I just want to know, what do you think about President Trump being the speaker? Right? I just want to know. So leave me a comment. Leave me a comment. I'm going to go back through and read the comments. And please, if I shared anything with you tonight, please, can you hit the share button for me? Please hit the share button. That would greatly bless me if you hit the share button. Something that simple. Please hit the share button, because people need to see this. People truly need to see it. And if you know someone in Chicago, copy the link to this video and text it to them. See, that's how you can get around a lot of the stuff that they prevent people from seeing it. I've been saying this for years now. Copy the link. No matter how you're watching this, copy the link to this video and text it to somebody and say, hey, check this out. Tell me what you think. It would mean a lot. God bless everybody.